Welcome back, young traveler. Now, when the Call of the Wild returned to Delpha, they arrived late at night and traveled to their favorite tavern, the Drunken Horde, and found a surprise. They found a banner hanging there. The banner read, "Famous for the adventures, the Call of the Wild," and found Finney in the tavern was surprised to see them and glad. And when they went to their rooms, they'd find that placards were placed on the rooms they'd usually stay in, each marking whose room it was. Now, a little bit of trouble happened, seeing as Finney wasn't prepared for a full-grown bear to be able to go up the stairs and stay in a room. So, him, along with Grusk, moved some tables so that way Ella could stay on the ground floor with her bear, Fisher. The rest went up to their rooms, and Erden stayed in the cart. In the middle of the night, Celine, the wood elf, got attacked by a monster, stealthily, with not much noise, enough that no one noticed, as she got swallowed by the creature and disappeared in the middle of the night. But the party would notice eventually, as Erden, sitting out in the cart meditating, would hear with the power of his amulet that allowed him to understand animals, his owl Fluffball, saying something about a spider. As Erden looked, it was not a spider that Fluffball was attacking, something far more sinister. A severed hand. Erden knew this necromancy as a crawling claw. And through the fog noticed a cloaked figure with a tail. Thinking this must be Morthos, he went after him to find a surprising sight. It indeed was the body of Morthos, but missing a hand, replaced with a claw or a knife, I can't quite remember. But his head was missing and replaced with that of a fish. This triggered some bad memories from Erden, and showed him that this was probably the work of someone he knew. With this, he came into the tavern yelling, screaming, waking up everyone with shouts that it might be his brother, who he knew tortured him as they were young. And after shouting out that it might be his brother, and that Morthos' head was replaced with a fish, distress was too much for dear Erden as he passed out. Now, with this commotion, the rest of the party woke up, startled. they went and prepared themselves as quickly as they could for anything that would come up. Krusk leaving behind the hawk that he was training, but taking with him his mimic on his side, and having his bear follow him. Yes, Krusk had a lot of friends. In fact, he was quite famous for it seemed. But with this, Krusk and Balasar looking around, finding that Celine did not leave her room. They knocking on the door, getting no reply. Krusk finally breaking down the door, finding Celine missing. Erden, having fallen and hit his head, had flashbacks of a terrible incident where, after young Maggot lost his fingers to the fish incident that his brother Crow-Rot pushed upon him, his father may have magically inclined young Maggot to do the same to Crow-Rot, to be even. Now this may not seem like much, but would be quite revealing later. That aside, the party sat down on the ground floor, preparing, when noises from the back room were heard. Krusk looking out, finding Finny preparing to board up the place, moving a barrel of ale in front of the back door, and getting prepared with frying pans as armor and a knife ready to go. But with this, the party stayed in the inn, waiting for Erden to wake up to shed light on this incident. Once Erden woke up and told the party his thoughts, they weren't sure what to do. They stayed until morning, hoping this would cause less commotion, seeing as most necromancers don't like to be seen out and about. And if so, then they'd at least have backup by other townsfolk and guard. So once morning struck, the party made their way to find the artisan boar where Ulfgar lay asleep. Knowing that he was a good tracker, they hoped beyond hope that he would be able to wake up and help them. This was not the case. But they did indeed find an ally. Another elf who was surprisingly known to the missing Celine. Her mentor, in fact. And with hearing that Celine was missing, her mentor jumped at this opportunity to aid in finding her steward. With a little talk, they decided to head to the grave of Morthos to start there, for if Morthos' body was missing, there may be a clue there. As the party and this new ally headed to the graveyard, they did indeed find an open grave of Morthos, and a crypt with a door wide opened, leading to a chained Celine. And a few other friends that they knew, namely the paladin that they met with their encounter with Hart and his stewards, a chef, a groomsman, and a trainee. But now zombies, along with their dear friend, the Gravekeeper, Narvi, the Rat Folk. In a fight, Fluffball got killed, and Erden was given a choice: give himself up willingly and have Celine freed, or have her die. And this is where Erden changed fate, by sacrificing himself for his friend, offering to give himself up. The rest of the party were still on edge, but Krusk took this opportunity and asked Crowrot, this brother of Erden, if he knew of pirates that he was looking for. Crowrot said he might, and may give that information, but only if he kept the rest of the party in bay, allowing him to escape. This may have led to why the party did not attack. And with that, Erden and his brother left with the zombies behind him, leaving Celine unlocked and Fluffball dead. But luckily, that was the only casualty from their fight. After this, the party came to me and told me of what had happened and how in the fight they had to take down the zombie of Narvi, and how the necromancer escaped with the 4 other zombies and Erden, and asked that I would put the paladins to keep an eye on them, knowing that necromancers out on their own would cause much trouble. So I did. And that is the tale of the return of Morthos.